Hi, this is my week 6 learning activity where I'm going to be going over order of operations, and the activity is using a game to discuss it. This week I found a great reference where the teacher uses bingo to reinforce the ideas of order of operations for the students. So I went ahead and I took that idea and I ran with it. Um, how I decided to work on it this week was actually introducing the topic to the students first and then diving into the game. So in this lesson plan, we actually spend a lot of time working out order of operations and really discussing it and having the students understand it before we actually start the game. So this activity could easily last a couple of days depending on how much time the teacher wants to uh, spend on this subject. So my idea is when the teacher first introduces the subject, they introduce it using an element of real life that has a specific order to it. My favorite order is you have to crawl before you walk, and then you have to walk before you run. It's a very common adage you hear, and I feel like that's the best one that students can draw a connection to. But I've also heard ones about before you go on a walk, you have to put on your sock, and then you have to put on your shoe, and then you have to tie your shoe. Or if you're making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, you have to take out the bread, spread the peanut butter on the first slice of bread, spread the jelly on the second slice of bread. So there's these specific orders um, that are required, and I feel that this would be the best method to teach children that these orders in real life equate to orders in mathematics as well. So once we go over that introduction, then we can actually start working on the elements of order of operations. I found a second reference that goes over the GEMS principle, so grouping elements, exponents, and multiplication, subtraction. Much like the GERMDAS element, GEMS is basically the same principal idea, and I really like the idea behind GEMS or GERMDAS, so I plan on using it in my future classroom, including this hypothetical situation where I'm teaching order of operations. The teacher will first give a few sample problems on the board before having the students work on a few sample problems with their neighbors or in their table groups. I think this will really drive home the element of order of operations, and then we can dive into the game. I've chosen bingo. How it works is the students will be given different bingo cards, much like this one. Forgive my crude drawing here. So all of the squares are going to be filled up with different numbers. And then the students will either have markers or bingo daubers or stickers, what have you, to mark their places for them. They will also have pencils and scratch paper to actually work out their problems. So the teacher will write a problem on the board, and then the students will work to answer it. The students should be given about a minute or so to be able to work out these problems. Once the minute is up, the teacher will choose a student to come up to the board and answer the problem. Regardless of what the student answers, whether it's right or wrong, the teacher will ask the class, "What do you think? Is the answer correct or is it incorrect?" If the answer is correct, then the teacher will ask, "Okay, has anybody gotten anything different?" If there's a student who got a different answer, then the teacher will ask them to explain why and their method to gaining that answer. And at that point, the teacher and the classmates can offer support to the student and help them correct that mistake. If the student got an incorrect answer at the board, then the teacher will once again ask the class, "Did you get anything different?" And then the students at that point can help guide the student at the board to achieving the correct answer. Once the class has gotten the correct answer and everybody's in agreement, then the students can go ahead and mark their board. So for example, I'm marking a random spot on my bingo card. Now the students can either or the teacher can either lead the students in several ways of playing bingo. They can play it the traditional way, where they have to line up 5 squares, what have you, whether it be vertical, horizontal, or diagonal, like this. Or the teacher can have the students do an X pattern, make the game seem a little bit longer if it seems to be going kind of short. So there are a lot of different ways that this game can be played, and the teacher can play it multiple times during the day. They can play it over the course of a week, depending on how well the students are grasping the idea.